Turning now to your community focus, we are joined by Attorney General Peter Neronha live in studio today. He joins us monthly here on 12 News Now at 4. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Kim. Good to be with you.
So something I want to start with, something we've been covering closely over the last couple of days, is continued gun violence in Providence. There was a homicide on Saturday. A man was critically injured in a shooting last night. You told my colleague Tim White about a sort of task force on violent crime. When people hear those headlines, what do you say to them to convince them it's working?
Yeah, look, I think there's evidence that it's working, but there's no question that we've got this continuing, ongoing gun violence problem in Providence. But I will say this, that the task force that we put together, even today, is finding leads to connect shootings with other incidents. And so by generating those leads, I believe that in the near term, we're going to be able to solve some of these shootings. I mean, that doesn't go to the underlying problem of why we've got the violence in the first place. There's lots of reasons, there's lots of reasons for that. One is there are far too many guns out on the street, many more than there were just a few years ago, and more we see high-capacity magazines, which means more bullets in the air. You
mentioned some evidence to show that this task force is working. What is some of that evidence that you would point to?
Yeah, so I think we put out a release a few weeks ago where there are at least 3 cases that we've made by making it easier for police officers and detectives to move among city lines, among Central Falls, Pawtucket, and Providence. So not only is it easier for them by being deputized Attorney General investigators to move between cities, to react more quickly to get guns out of homes and executing search warrants, but we're bringing technology to the table. So we're analyzing casings from different shootings so that we can match one shooting to another. That generates leads, and that helps us solve the shootings that are, frankly, plaguing our urban core.
And I know you mentioned there's numerous reasons for why we're seeing this uptick in gun violence, but I know one thing that both you and Chief Hugh Clements from Providence have pointed to are these straw purchases, where someone who is not legally able to buy a gun, someone else who can legally purchase the firearm then sells it to them. That doesn't sound like anything that's particularly new, so why is that such a problem, a growing problem right now?
Well, one of the reasons, it isn't an old problem, but our tools are better. So we finally got legislation passed last session, which strengthens our straw purchasing authority and ability to go after that. We just announced a sentencing yesterday of someone who's going to serve multiple years in prison for being involved in a straw purchasing situation. The bottom line is that, there's no question that people who can't get guns are getting them from people who can legally buy them. One of the things we're doing is every time we see an indication of multiple sales, when we get this information from gun sellers, we're following up to see whether there is connections between those multiple sales and people who might be using them in a way that can harm others.
I want to shift gears a little bit here. Something that we covered back in the spring that's getting a little bit of renewed attention right now. Narragansett Electric is being sold to a Pennsylvania company called PPL by National Grid. It's a proposed sale right now. It's being looked at by the PUC right now. Those hearings started yesterday. Your office, among others, have raised some concerns. What are those concerns?
Yeah, look, we intervened in that matter, and there are a whole, and I think that reflects kind of a different approach from the office. We're getting much more involved and out on offense on behalf of the people of the state. Why did we do it here? There are lots of reasons. I think the one that is kind of goes to the heart of it is, ratepayers pay less when there are efficiencies of scale. Right now, this transaction would result in our electric company and our gas company being spun off from National Grid, which would still be in Massachusetts and New York, but we'd be alone here, with the new owner being a number of states away. What that means is the ability to flex resources here in the worst of times, the ability to have the kind of executive and customer service infrastructure. We'd have to rebuild that potentially here in the state of Rhode Island, and we believe that there are some long-term cost implications for ratepayers, and there's some other concerns that we have as well.
So do you believe that this sale should be halted, or do you think that there are provisions that can be put in place that could allow the sale to go forward and just protect ratepayers?
Yeah, where we stand right now, Kim, is that this transaction as currently structured is not in the best interest of the people of the state. And until we see significant change in how it is structured, we're going to continue to oppose it.
I wanted to ask you about another headline that we had just yesterday, another story we were tracking. A Cranston man accused of luring a young girl to him through predatory online behavior, posing as a 17-year-old. I know this is something that is being tracked widely in terms of, people using child porn on the internet, preying on young people on the internet. What should parents know is being done to try and protect their children? What's your message to parents who see that and are concerned?
Well, look, in terms of the electronic ways of reaching our young people, The State Police Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force is doing a great job in that space. I mean, the reality, though, is, Kim, and I don't want to talk about this case because it's pending, and so I'm not talking specifically about the case you mentioned, but the sad reality is that over the last 5 years, we have charged 400 cases where a child has been sexually assaulted by an adult. And that is an ongoing problem in the state of Rhode Island. So we've got to be really careful about who we leave our children with. Here's the other thing that really worries me, and we've seen broad reporting about this, is that we are in a place now in the state where we don't have the kind of mental health and social services, that kind of capacity to help all children, no matter the circumstances, but particularly children that are abused and assaulted in this way, need a support structure going forward, irrespective of the case. And we just haven't allocated the resources we need to be able to do that for them, and that's something that has to change.
Just about 30 seconds left. The General Assembly will be heading back to Smith Hill next month. If you can pass one piece of legislation in the next session, what is that piece of legislation?
Yeah, I'm going to give you two, actually. One is we've got to get our wage theft and misclassification cases that protect everyday laws that protect everyday workers fixed. Right now, it's a misdemeanor. It should be a felony. You know, if I steal your appliance and it's worth more than $1,500, it's a felony. If I steal your wages from you, it's a misdemeanor. And our child endangerment statutes are too weak. We've got to fix them. We have a plan in place to do that as well.
Attorney General Peter Neronha, thank you as always for your time.
Thanks, Kim. Great to be with you.